everybody. Good morning, and welcome back to Matcha Morning. Ah, it's good to be back with you guys. I missed a week, and I apologize. I was way too sad to do any of my streams and any of the stuff that I really wanted to do. So it was a very tough week, but I'm feeling better this week and definitely in a little bit of a better place. So I don't sound like depressed Katie the whole time that I'm talking. You can actually hear a little bit of happiness in my voice. So, but yeah, my little baby Adney, my little kitty cat, passed away this past week, and I guess it was about a week and a half ago now. And it took me a little bit to kind of cope. I had a good decade with that little baby, and it was probably the best cat I've ever had in the entirety of my life. Like, he loved to be held like a baby, and he loved snuggles, and he'd give you little kisses on the nose, and he'd say good morning, and he'd say good night, and things like that. He was just very special in my life. Helped me out with a lot of stuff, and like most animals for most people, was there through a whole bunch of different stuff that happened in the adult years of my life. So it was very hard to part, but we brought him home. I got his ashes and stuff like that, and now he is next to his daughter that passed away a little while ago, for those of you that follow my stuff. I'll probably share a picture with you guys to show you, because I got a really beautiful wooden case to put him in, and he looks so handsome in his little case. So I'll definitely be showing you guys that stuff too. But on a little bit of a happier note, because I could talk about this for a while. I miss my baby. On a happier note, I am so happy to be here with you guys this morning. Happy Monday morning. It's awesome to be able to start out at the beginning of the week with you guys, because it helps me, even if no one shows up on my live stuff and, just kind of watches it later, whatever, I still kind of feel like this connection with all of the people that like to watch my stuff and enjoy listening to my things. And it makes me feel really good, that I can help you guys, start your Mondays really well, or keep your Mondays going amazing. And I hope you guys are having a good Monday. If not, I hope it changes quickly for you guys. These past few weeks have been really weird, so I'm counting on this week now that we're getting out of our cold snaps here in Georgia. Man, it got down to 22 degrees. I thought I was gonna freeze my balls off, if I had balls, but you know what I mean. But I'm excited for this week. I'm excited for a few different things that I really want to do, and I've got a little bit of help to do some of the stuff that I want to this week and next week. So I'm just super stoked, all the way around, about a lot of different stuff. So definitely stay tuned on all that fun things and what's nots. So this week, for my gaming news, I have a whole bunch of different stuff. I decided to do 10 different stories today, because there was just a lot of stuff to cover, especially because I wasn't here last week to be able to cover some stuff with you guys, and different things happened, and there was a whole bunch of different game awards and things like that we've been talking about and whatnot. So finally, after all of everything, I can do a little bit of recap with you guys and go over some really cool stuff that also has been happening that you might not know about. So first, South by Southwest had their game awards. For those of you who, I covered this just a little bit a few weeks ago. But the South by Southwest Gaming Awards, produced by executive producer Lori Locklear of Georgia-based Peach Maria Productions, for those of you who know about them, recognize achievements of the wide reach of gaming across art, design, music, gameplay, and a whole bunch more across 12 different categories. In addition to the South by Southwest Game of the Year, the Final Fantasy Online game also won Excellence in Narrative and Excellence in Original Score. Also taking South by Southwest award were Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which led the final nominees going into this ceremony. Unpacking Resident Evil Village and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So for those of you who did miss it and didn't get to see it, there was a whole bunch of different awards that were given out. And some of them, of course, made a whole lot of sense, like Final Fantasy becoming Video Game of the Year. Indie Game of the Year was Kenna Bridge of Spirits. And for those of you who have not checked it out, Ember Lab does that. And that's actually a pretty sweet game. I've not personally played it, but I have watched other people play it, and it looks pretty friggin' awesome. Tabletop Game of the Year was Dune Imperium, which also makes a whole lot of sense. VR Game of the Year was Resident Evil 4 in VR, which also makes a whole lot of sense. Matthew Crump Cultural Innovation Award awarded to the game that best challenges the norm of everyday gaming and offers a culturally innovative view of the gaming world, character, or gameplay. Unpacking by Witchbeam and Hongbo Games got that one. Excellence in Animation, Art, and Visual Achievement was Forza Horizon 5 by Playground Games, Xbox Game Studios. Excellence in Game Design was Inscription by Daniel Mullins, game developer Digital. Excellence in Original Score, of course, like we said earlier, Final Fantasy, which also makes a whole lot of sense. Excellence in Multiplayer is It Takes Two, which really definitely took, I think, the entirety of last year of people loving the absolute crap out of that game by Hazelight Electronic Arts. Excellence in Narrative, like I said, was Final Fantasy. Excellence in Audio Design was Resident Evil Village by Capcom. Excellence in Technical Achievement was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart by Insomniac Games, Sony Interactive Entertainment. So a whole bunch of awards across the board. And like I said, it makes a whole lot of sense, especially for some of the awards that were given to some of the different things like Animation, Art, and Visual Achievement for Forza Horizon 5. Makes a lot of sense. It's absolutely beautiful. So, Excellence in Technical Achievement, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, for those of you who haven't checked that out, also a really fun game. But I definitely agree with what they've given out, especially with all of the different awards and stuff like that. So that was definitely exciting, especially to see some of these games that definitely deserved the recognition for some of the things that they've done and have been doing. So that was the South by Southwest in less than a minute to cover all of the stuff that happened. So definitely check that out, and we'll be covering that again when it comes around, like most of all of the different things that I'm covering today, because there's so many different things. Okay, so for those of you who pay attention to the Indigenous scene in general, there are a lot of stuff coming out, and a lot of it is amazing. There's this whole new perspective and ideas and things like that are finally getting some recognition by different people, whether it's in the gaming industry, whether it's the movie industry, even Netflix is starting to jump on a lot of different stuff as well with, different TV series and things like that. But for those of you who have been paying attention to Brazil's Indigenous gaming scene, it definitely is on the rise. So I don't know if you guys recognize this, but this is Ariane, and it is a Brazilian game currently in development. The game is named after its lead character, an indigenous warrior of the Sun Tribe, intent on saving her people from a mysterious mythological power. It was originally announced in 2018 by Diorama Digital, a studio based in Pernambuco, I believe is how you say that, a state in northeastern Brazil. And Brazil is the 5th largest country in the world and is home to many different cultures. There are those hailing from the favelas seen in movies like 2002's City of God and Carnival Parties and Tropical Bossa Nova, which are familiar to tourists, but it is the country's many indigenous peoples and traditional communities that caught the attention of the team at Diorama. The country is also home to 850,000 native people, living amongst 300 different communities, which is a lot of communities spread across Brazil. They make about 1% of the country's 213 million inhabitants, which is really saying something, especially for the indigenous impact in Brazil. During the game's planning, game developer Everaldo Neto says that Arani's willpower made her the obvious choice for the protagonist. Everything happened in a very organic manner. It was almost as she picked us and not the other way around. We knew we needed a strong woman who was small considering the scale of her challenges, but huge in her deeds. The gaming scene in Brazil's indigenous communities is surging. For example, in 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, a Free Fire tournament named Indigenous Villages Cup saw 288 guilds, each made up of indigenous gamers. Among the ethnicities, because, for some reason I can't talk anymore, were Guarani, Karaha, and Zakarabi, Kalapalo, Kaigang, Kaiwa, Amandawa, and Zoling, I believe, peoples. I hope that I got all of those right because I tried really hard. Wired spoke for 3 female indigenous gamers to learn more about their experience in Brazil's gaming communities, and all 3 explained that some players considered their presence unusual while others doubted their indigenous origins or heritage. So this is a really huge thing, especially when it comes to different industries, especially that involve colonization and its effects of. So, just like you see here in America, where certain things are really hard to get across, it's really difficult for certain people to be able to get their ideas out and things like that. The same thing goes on, especially in South America when it comes to their indigenous peoples as well. So I'm really excited to see how the gaming industry is really going to take off, because for those of you, that pay attention to law and the gaming industry in general, you guys know that Brazil, South America in general, is also one of the biggest gaming countries in the world, gaming continent as well. And for it to start doing things like this is really amazing, especially for some of the things that are going to come from it, like people being able to learn about cultures, languages, philosophies, different things like that of indigenous peoples, which, over time, everything has been political, everything has had a narrative and things like that. So to be able to actually learn from people who can actually teach what their people have been taught, across all of these things is really amazing, because then it puts the one-on-one instead of having to learn, perspective, or going through someone else's perspective of someone else's culture. And that's absolutely amazing. And it puts, like the article says, a balance to what comes from our minds with research material, and also, having the respectful manner of understanding different cultures and different indigenous peoples and the differences between those peoples as well, which is really amazing. And that's extremely exciting. So I definitely will be keeping up on this as well. I'm just excited, like I said, in general, especially with everything that's been coming from indigenous culture around the world, but especially within South America and as well as America. There are quite a few different movies and TV shows that have been able to come out of reservations and been able to come out of different tribes of people that not a lot of people know about. So this is really amazing. It also excites me because I love culture. I love learning about different types of people, and especially the histories behind them. So this just excites me in general. It was something that I definitely wanted to cover. Okay, so moving on to all my stock buddies, because I love you guys, and I have noticed quite a few of my friends and people that are connected to some of my platforms that you guys have been super hardcore, especially within the last few years, in dealing with stock. So I found a couple of different articles, especially right now, as certain things have gone down, certain things have gone way, way down.
But there are a lot of things that are still going to happen within the next few years with specific companies. So I've been trying to stay up on a few different things, learn a few different things of what's going on, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an insight, just in case you have not seen or heard. So there are 3 top gaming stocks to watch in March, and I have looked up all 3 of these. 2 of them I like. I'm not necessarily sure about the third one. But there are, like I said, quite a few gaming stocks that are down right now, especially with different things going on federally, with how laws are going into place with mergers, different companies saying they're merging and buying up different things. So there's a lot of different things that are happening right now. The very first one is Skills, and it is a mobile esports platform. And it's been one of the worst performers over just about any time frame you want to look at in this past year, losing about 91% of its value in about 12 months. But don't let that completely deter you guys, because like most things, it's going to happen no matter what stock that you have. You're going to have some dips and you're going to have things that happen. But there are some good things, especially about it. The big drop in value is only because shares got caught up in the meme stock trading frenzy about a year ago, which sent shares soaring to ridiculous heights. Most recently, Skills was battered because investing guru Kathy Wood exited her position in the gaming company, dumping millions of shares over a span of days. Its partnership with the NFL could see at least one game, possibly more, launch in time for the 2022 season, while its plans to rein in some of its more grandiose ideas, like entering the Indian gaming platform, which is also a very big thing, which is also something to pay attention to. Skills believes the reduction in its engagement marketing and user acquisition budgets will lead to revenue after engagement marketing growing better than 30%, and expects to achieve adjusted break-even by the end of 2024. It's even looking at potential acquisitions of its own to elevate its gaming, so definitely pay attention to that as well. And even if you don't put a lot into it, a little bit just to watch it rise would be amazing. So the second one is Roblox. The kid-oriented online gaming platform isn't trailing very far behind Skills in the cruddy performance standings this past year. There are quite a few reasons why Roblox has been hitting certain things. Roblox did soar through the lockdown phase of the pandemic because it had a captive audience of children to entertain. But like many other parts of the leisure activities market, it sagged out when out-of-home activities became more prevalent. Roblox is the advent of the metaverse, the virtual world where people can interact with one another, play games, or even conduct business. So it's not a stretch to say that Roblox is already there, because it creates virtual space for interactions by tweens without a variety of games in the Roblox environment, while others like meta platforms are just building it out. So that in particular is a good reason that you might want to start investing in Roblox as well, because with the metaverse and everything that's starting to go on with virtual reality, because they already have a virtual world where people can interact, this is probably going to make it one of the top-ish games when it comes to more of the meta. So being able to, once people have more VR and meta becomes something like going home and playing a game right now, where everyone kind of hooks up to it, which is probably going to end up happening, especially within, specific things, whether that's, going to a baseball game or going to, an event or whatever the case may be. I think a lot of companies are going to start going to that, selling tickets to certain things like that, at a much cheaper price for people, to be able to hook up to their gaming equipment and be able to watch. But because Roblox already offers this kind of opens it up for people to start using them, or even creating something new with them, because they already have, the ideas and understandings of creating that experience for you. Roblox still carries a fairly high valuation at 14 times sales, so it might not be the time to dive in just yet, but its shares bear watching as the metaverse starts to take off. But like I said, because the metaverse is really starting to take off, and because there's a lot of different things going on, especially with VR and things like that, that's definitely something to really pay attention to, or at least, throw a little bit in if that's something that, you're wanting to go into. So number 3 on the list is Sea Limited, which had the most downloaded Battle Royale online game in Free Fire in 2021, according to App Annie. However, it has seen its stock take a hit over concerns about widening losses, its dependence on just a single game, and potential fallout from a recent ban in the Indian market. It's only an online gaming site. It also operates a thriving e-commerce site called Shop, and it is the number 1 retail app in Southeast Asia, according to the website Apptopia, and recently overtook Mercado Libre as the top e-commerce app in Latin America. It now boasts having Sea Limited's largest market by monthly active users. However, Sea's losses have ballooned to $571 million due to its shop expansion efforts. Although in certain markets it is now profitable, and while not a one-trick pony on the gaming side, Free Fire is its primarily revenue generator there. When India banned hundreds of games, including Free Fire, because of the fears that personal user data was being stored in China and could possibly become compromised, it demonstrated the risk present. Sea Limited isn't actually a Chinese company, though. It is based in Singapore, and it denies any data is stored in China. The Singaporean government is now involved in negotiating to have the ban lifted. However, Sea Limited's downturn started much earlier than these most recent developers. It was part of the market's transition from previous high-flying tech stocks, especially those that prospered during the depths of the pandemic, like most things did, to more consumer goods-oriented names. Sea Limited has lost 3/4 of its value from its recent highs, and especially if India reinstates Free Fire to other whitelisted apps, its stock should be on the watch list, for any game-oriented investor. Even more so because once that ban does get lifted a little bit again, it probably will go up a lot more. But also going into that, there are also plans of expanding, and I'm sure they plan on expanding a lot more than they're letting on to believe. So those are the 3 stocks for you guys to watch out for right now, for all my stock peeps. So onward to the Xbox Games Showcase. So on March 16th, fans can look forward to new Xbox Game Showcase, which will feature updates, trailers, and gameplay footage for several indie games that are currently in development. That's exciting news to look forward for the next few days, but some fans are already wondering about what the future may hold. Noted Xbox insider Nick, I believe, recently posted on the Xbox Era forums that Microsoft is planning to hold big events in May and September. As with any Link, fans should take this one with a grain of salt until we get the official word from Xbox. The current plan, from what was told, was a show for May and one for September. But no one has gotten any 100% detail on that. It seems hard to believe that Xbox would be planning a big event 1 month before E3 is set to begin. While the company has made no announcement regarding E3 at this time, Xbox has continued to support the industry show even after some companies have pulled out or shifted attention elsewhere. It's possible Xbox could be moving away from E3, or this May event will be a smaller one before the big show. Xbox has a number of major games slated to release this year, including Redfall and Starfield. Redfall does not currently have a current release date for those of you guys who have been looking into that, but Starfield isn't set to release until November. So fans will definitely will be waiting a little longer to hear the latter, but it seems likely that we could find out more information at E3 or at least during a May event. So Xbox fans will just have to keep waiting patiently, like most of us will, just to see, what may happen with that. So once Xbox confirms what's going to happen, I definitely will be letting you guys know. And hopefully they will be at E3 this year. that's probably going to be way more virtual too as the years go by as well. So we'll see about that. So, Xbox Game Pass in March. I did not cover this, so I know this is like a little bit late on it, but here's some Xbox stuff. Because I wasn't here last week, so I had to cover it a little bit, and I'm like, it's kind of old, but it's not. If you missed out on the game during the holiday rush, this is a great time to jump in and give it a go. There are games hitting the service this month, including Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy, Kentucky Route Zero, and much more. Guardians of the Galaxy earned some decent reviews during its launch period, but it was given an 8 out of 10 by IGN. It's a fun, no-frills single-player campaign full of cosmic comic book flavor, which I love. If you played Marvel's Avengers and wished it was just a sweet single-player adventure, then Guardians might be right up your street. It's already hit Game Pass for those of you wanting to check that out. Here are our first set of games coming to Xbox Game Pass this month. And some of them, like I said, are already available now. Actually, all of them are available now. So Far Changing Tides will be available on cloud, console, and PC. Microsoft Flight Simulator will be on the cloud, which is really fun to look at, especially if you guys have the really big screens or the curved screens. It's so much fun to do Flight Simulator. Okay, so Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy is on console and PC. Kentucky Route Zero is on cloud, console, and PC. Lawn Mowing Simulator is on Xbox One. Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy is on cloud, console, and PC. And Young Souls is on cloud, console, and PC as well. And like I said, all of those are already out as well. Something to throw in there as well, you can currently get a $10 Xbox gift card at Amazon for $9 right now. And yeah, I know you're only saving $1, but if you're wanting to get like, $100 worth of stuff, you can save like $10, which is awesome. $90 for $100, and that's sweet. At least you get $10 back in your pocket. You can also get 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $39.99 at Amazon right now, which is $5 off the asking price, which is still saving a little bit. This will also stack with your current membership. There's a 50% off PC Game Pass right now, so it's down to $9.99 for 2 months. Side note, if you are an Ultimate member already, this PC Game Pass deal will also convert to 40 days of Game Pass Ultimate. So we also have some stuff leaving Xbox as well. So if you guys are wanting to download or you're wanting to get it before it is off the store, Nier Automata is on cloud, console, and PC. Fogs is on cloud, console, and PC. Torchlight 3 is on cloud, console, and PC. And The Surge 2, which is also cloud, console, and PC. And those will be leaving tomorrow. So if you guys are wanting to get all up in that, definitely check those out as well. So that's exciting. I want to play the Guardians of the Galaxy game just to check it out, because they said comic books, and that just excited me. And I've not played the Guardians of the Galaxy games, which you would think that I would at this point, especially because, I love my RPGs and things like that. But, I haven't yet. So I'm probably going to check that out and let you guys know how that is. So onward to PlayStation. There are some new PlayStation Plus free games for March that are also available, because I didn't cover it last week as well. As previously announced, this month's free video game titles available to PlayStation Plus subscribers included Ark Survival Evolved, Team Sonic Racing, and Ghost Runner. Additionally, Ghost of Tsushima Legends, the multiplayer associated with Ghost of Tsushima, is available as a bonus title this month. The usual caveats for PlayStation Plus titles apply here, the most significant of which is they will only be available until early April, which we, PlayStation peoples know this. Also, side note, if you guys have a PlayStation 4 and you have the Ghost of Tsushima already, and you're wanting to put it on your PlayStation 5, or you're wanting to buy the bundle pack, which is PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, so you're able to play them on both, I would also definitely go ahead and wait. The last few days, I've been seeing stuff from different people where if you already have the game and you're wanting to buy it for PlayStation 5, it should only be $10. But for some reason, it's showing the full gaming price. And then as well as people who already have it, it's also not playing on PlayStation 5 for some people, or not playing on PlayStation 4 for some people. So there's just a couple things that are going wrong. They have asked PlayStation what's going on with it. They haven't fully disclosed or come forward with a whole bunch of things. But I do expect sometime soon for them to do an update for it to be able to fix these issues. So if you are having this issue, make sure that you are contacting PlayStation and letting them know. They will, hopefully, like I said, at some time be able to fix their store and whatever's going on with that. But if you're wanting to buy those things and you're wanting to get Ghost of Tsushima right now, I would wait at least until they fix it, so that way you're not like buying it and something gets corrupted or something, really weird and funky with the universe happens. So if you're wanting it, I recommend waiting right now, at least for right now, just to kind of see, what's going on. So those are the exciting fun games that are and have come out already. So if you guys have not downloaded them, I would definitely check those out. Team Sonic Racing is pretty freaking awesome, and Ark Survival Evolved is pretty sweet as well. Just be careful which servers that you're in. For those of us who have screwed around with Ark, we all know. So here is something really fun. It's a rumor, so it has not officially been said one way or another by PlayStation if this is happening, but it is happening to some people. So let me explain what's going on. The rumors of an imminent reveal for what's called or being called Project Spartacus are looking increasingly like being correct after some PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 players have reportedly complimentary PlayStation Now subscriptions being added on to their PlayStation Plus membership. Others have reported existing memberships changing their names, suggesting a merge into a new service that could be coming soon. Reports from several NeoJAF users have claimed that those who take out a PlayStation Plus subscription or who renew an existing subscription are getting a free PlayStation Plus Now subscription for the same exact duration. For example, those who take, a 12-month PlayStation Plus subscription are now receiving 12-month PlayStation Now subscription for no extra cost. Other players who already have subscriptions on both services are reporting that there seems to be a bug with their names. When looking at their subscription options, they're seeing 2 subscriptions to PlayStation Plus instead of an individual subscription to PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. However, those who are only currently subscribed to one or the other haven't reviewed their subscriptions or are actually seeing, no change. So this is exciting because there's a lot of things that are starting to merge across a lot of different platforms, whether it's Xbox, whether it's PC. So this is exciting for PlayStation people because this past year, and I don't want to knock PlayStation, in general, but this past year wasn't that great for PlayStation and a lot of their free games. We saw a lot of different games go onto a lot of different platforms that we were really sad we didn't get to have really cool games like that too. We did have, a couple different things, but there, you should never have a free golf game. That's just me. Especially this day and age, don't ever have a free golf game. We are not 50 years old. We're not. So to be able to see Project Spartacus possibly happening, PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now finally converging, so that way, if there are some, really badass games that we saw, like I was saying this past year, PlayStation Plus not so great, PlayStation Now, there were quite a few games that came out with it, but there were a lot of people that, were really upset that they're playing, having to pay for their PlayStation Plus subscription, and PlayStation Now is, something extra that they're having to pay on top of it just to be able to get really cool games and things like that. So to be able to do both of those things at one time is really friggin' exciting, because this kind of opens up a little bit more of an avenue for PlayStation people. And now that there's a lot more going on with consoles, with Xbox, with PC, and things like that, this would be a really, really smart decision for PlayStation, because it's going to open it up a little bit more for people to decide, like, hey, I want a PlayStation instead of, whatever. And that works out for them business wise. I'm not saying whether or not you need to play whatever console. That's that's on you. But when it comes to like them and their business, this is a really, really smart business idea to merge these two things. So I'm hoping that this rumor is true, because this is exciting for me, because I own a PlayStation, which I own an Xbox and a couple of other things too. But I play on my PlayStation like all the time. That is my main thing that I play on. And to be able to see something, changing around like this, like, really gets me like super excited. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so PlayStation State of Play and everything announced at the March 2022 event. Yes, there was some more stuff, and it just keeps on going with different things that are happening. But beginning of the year, new showcases, lots of different fun things. So the most recent PlayStation State of Play revealed a bunch of new games from some of the most prestigious Japanese developers and publishers. Although some were hoping to get a taste of God of War Ragnarok, and others massive, upcoming PlayStation exclusives, Sony was very clear prior to the show that it would be giving a focus to these Japanese teams. This does leave the question of when Sony will start to show more from these upcoming exclusives, but the latest State of Play was a nice change of pace and put the spotlight on some of the games people may have otherwise never even seen. It was 20 minutes long for those of you who were able to catch it, and if you guys are wanting to watch any of the covers, any of the State of Plays, or the any of the events and things that have happened, most of the videos are on the blogs that I have on my Buy Me a Coffee, or my Lord, on my Discord, underneath my sites and sources. So everything that I talk about is all on there. So if you guys are wanting to go check that out as well, you definitely can. It was jammed with announcements from Capcom, Square, Equinox, and lots of others. A lot of trailers were for brand new games that players weren't expecting, which is both good and, not so good. While it gives players even more things to be excited about, it also leaves questions about games that have been quiet for an extended period of time, like, Final Fantasy, Pragmata, and others that were absent from the showcase. But the exciting thing, though, is that they did put a big emphasis on Japanese games, and this opens up a lot, especially when it comes to different perspectives of what we've been getting, especially here in the States. To be able to have, a little bit of a difference, and in your face of a difference, is really nice. Both of those games have had next to no substantial information revealed since their debuts. And it's also creating frustrations, and I get that. Nevertheless, 2022 has begun, and there is still plenty of time for studios to unveil information on a lot of these titles. Although there wasn't anything too earth-shattering besides Capcom's making a Dino Crisis looking game that is not called Dino Crisis. Fans of these kinds of games were receptive to the show, but there still was a lot of different things. The first big reveal came from Capcom, and its 5-player co-op action game called Exoprimal, which is all about, slaying dinosaurs. But the looks of it said dinosaurs also seem to fall from the sky via portals, creating massive World War Z-like hordes that will surely inspire chaos. Now, when people hear dinosaurs in Capcom, they think of Dino Crisis, but it is not a new Dino Crisis game, I'm sorry. With that being said, there appeared to be a tease of Regina at the end of the trailer, but it's likely that some of these bonus DLCs, and not necessarily a continuation of that franchise, even though it's not Dino Crisis, it looks incredibly fun. Exoprimal will release in 2023, and it is not a PlayStation exclusive. It will release on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin has received a new demo on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 ahead of the full game's immense release. The demo will let players experience the first 3 stages of the game and also let them carry over their progress. So it's essentially like starting the game a little early. The multiplayer will also be available in the demo, so players can pair up with friends and see if it'll make, a good co-op fun experience for everybody. The demo is available now, and players can pick up the full game on March 18th, which is in 4 days. Although the demo is exclusive to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, the full game will be available for Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC. The previously announced Gundam Evolution is also coming to Xbox and PlayStation consoles alongside PC later this year as well. Also, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection, which will allow players to revisit 13 classic TMNT games, including a lot of 8-bit old titles and arcade games as well, which is super exciting, especially for, all of us 90s babies. Gilgabash, a 4-player kaiju brawler, is announced also for 2022. The team itself took inspiration from Godzilla, Ultraman, and others to create a roster of 10 unique heroes to fight with, which basically is just, a fun fighting game. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure will also be coming to consoles this fall. The anime fighter will launch later this year with 50 playable characters from all arcs and variety of modes. The game will utilize the style of anime to immerse players in its world and create a bold fighting games for its fans to enjoy. And fans of Ghost of Tsushima and Trek to Yomi, fans of Ghost of Tsushima will be pleased to learn about Trek to Yomi, because I can't speak or do anything right now. An incredibly cinematic and haunting game about Shinto mythology and Japanese history, which is so fun. The game is heavily inspired by classic black and white Japanese films, such as those by Akira, and will take on 2D perspective to convey the feeling of moving stages from old silent films, which is so awesome, and will be available on and across a whole bunch of platforms. So there were a whole bunch more games if you guys are wanting to check them out and get a little bit more info onto each game. You guys can also watch, like I said, the full state of play, or you guys can go through each individual game that will be coming as well. They have all the trailers separately in the blogs that I have for that. So if you guys are wanting to check that out, definitely check it out on my Discord so you can get all the fun stuffs, all the good stuffs. So onward to Nintendo Switch. Their online gets 3 overdue amazing things. They just got a beautiful new update and a whole bunch of new patch notes. And there's, still a whole lot that needs to be done. But, this is really awesome that it's starting to go in the direction, especially with the online store. Oh my God. So the app's overall design has been updated. You can now see which of your friends are online. You can change your online status settings. You can view your friends' codes, and other minor changes have also been implemented as well. With Nintendo now making more money than ever off of Nintendo Switch Online with the expansion pack, and if you guys have not checked out the expansion pack, I definitely would. You get a whole bunch of different freebies and things and fun little stuff that's going on, and I love it. It's possible for the subscription service will start to be improved and refined a lot more, but for now, it remains to be seen. Everything else is starting to get a little bit more of an update too, which is really nice. And like I said, the online stores as well. And with rumors and leaks starting to surface about the next Nintendo console, it is possible improving Switch's online as a service will continue to kind of take a back seat. But I don't technically think that will happen. I think especially now that they're starting to come out with, the OLED and all that fun different stuff. their online store is still going to, you know, maybe not possibly be front and center, but it definitely will still be at the top, because there's a lot of people that have been complaining about that for years, and to be able to see those things happening now is really amazing. So I will definitely be keeping up on that, and I'm excited that they're getting more and more updates as time has gone. Holy moly. It's made things easier. Like, I appreciate that a lot, Nintendo. I really do. I really do. Happy user interface makes me so happy. So, my last story for today. Apparently, there is an unofficial PC port of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time releasing next month. It's a group of modders, and they've been extremely hard at work engineering the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for PC, and apparently it's almost ready to be released. So the source code from the original game was leaked back in 2020, and it seems the modders have been hard at work ever since. A few weeks back, some footage from the PC port of Ocarina of Time surfaced, which showed the work that had apparently been done so far. At the time, it was said that the project was around 90% complete, meaning that there was possibility of it being finished within the next coming weeks or months. You know, this year would be freaking cool. There was no release date given at this point, but it seems though a launch window has almost, you know, out of nowhere, especially with this quote-unquote leak. It's also worth mentioning that for anyone concerned about the copyright issues, the game has been reverse engineered with assets built from the ground up. This means that the modders should hopefully be able to release the port without incurring the wrath of Nintendo's law department. Of course, it's possible that the company will still come down on them. After all, you know, the few things that have been engineered by other fans like GTA 3, Vice City, and even like the RPG Pokemon game. And you guys really need to look that up if you've not seen it. Given that there have been numerous videos of people remaking elements of Ocarina of Time and Unreal Engine 5, it shows that after 24 years, this classic RPG is still fondly remembered by the community. So maybe, you know, an official remaster or remake will appear at some time. You know, like, and that's one thing, you know, with many different companies, they kind of take a step back and have to think for a while on whether or not that they should do things like that. But I mean, especially Legend of Zelda, that should be a no-brainer. It should be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's actually a really great idea, because it wouldn't cost a whole lot of money and it would sell out. So, you know, maybe, I don't know. That's just me though. So we'll see what happens with this. I would imagine that Nintendo's not going to be super happy about it, but maybe Nintendo will let it slide. Maybe they'll just be like, all right, PC people, you can have it, and just, you know, kind of let them have it. We'll see what happens. I definitely will be paying close attention to that, because when it does come out on PC, I want it. So, the precious. Anyways, all right. So thank you guys very much for hanging out with me this morning and checking out my gaming stuff if you guys are checking this out later. Like I was saying at the beginning of my awesome stream, I will be doing a lot of stuff this week and next week. I'm starting to feel better, getting some stuff done. I also, you know, am not super depressed as well, so that helps out too. But I do have some sweet stuff that is coming out and stuff that I should have already had out that I've been working on, things like that. But I hate putting stuff out that I'm not 100% okay with. So, you know, that'll be, you know, it'll be all right. It'll be good. But I am stoked and excited about some of the things that are going to happen, especially as time goes on. I'm really hoping my diet and stuff really takes effect on my body so I can get out and do wonderful, fun things with you guys as well. Because for the first 3 months, I've been like, I want to do this, and I just can't because I just feel like crap. So hopefully I will be able to do a couple of different things that are coming up relatively soon. Actually, I think maybe it already passed. I don't know. MomoCon is also coming up as well, and I definitely want to go to that too. There's a bunch of people that are going to be at that, and a couple of other things that are going to happen that I'm really excited about. So definitely stay tuned on that. Definitely stay tuned. I'm on pretty much every social app that you can think of. So definitely check me out on those too, because I have been updating and doing things on there. For my Facebook specifically, I've got a handy dandy new page if you guys want to check that out, so that way I don't flood my regular page with all of my gaming stuff, because I know not everybody's cool and kosher with all my gaming stuff. So but also definitely check out my Buy Me a Coffee. I do have, my subscription stuff on here on Twitch, but I also have a membership if you guys are interested. It is super cheap. It is $5 a month, or you can contribute, $1 if you like. Or if you don't want to contribute anything at all, it's still pretty awesome. I write stuff and do a lot of different things on there. So if you guys want to go check that out, some good products, good things going on, fun stuff, all like that, whatnots, definitely check it out. And like I said, there are, free stuff on there, a bunch of different free things that you can read and look at and download and color, whatever your heart desires. That's on there, of course. But definitely check that out, because that is one of the things that helps me do a lot of the different things that I'm able to do. And I'm really wanting to get into my cosplay and things like that, because I have so many ideas, but money always stops me. That darn money. So if you guys would like to check that out, and like I said, if you want to become a member, you'd like to contribute, anything like that, it would be greatly appreciated. And I do have, a bunch of different blogs and stuff that I come out with monthly. Gaming blogs, anime blogs, outing blogs, which I've started doing more of the East Coast instead of just the state of Georgia. If you want to check out some cool gaming places, or, fun places that fill the desire of gaming, out in the world. So you can hang out with friends and drink and do whatever you happen to do on your weekends. So I have those, and I also have my photo shoots as well, for the different little things, that I've come up with. And there's a bunch of different fun stuff that will be coming up, because I'm behind on that one. But definitely check that out. Like I said, it is, my membership page and things like that, to kind of be a little bit closer and a little bit more, involved in some of the things that I do. So if you guys are wanting to be involved as well, definitely check that out. Other than that, I think that's about it. Hit me up on any of the socials and any of my stuffs. So, we can be involved. I do have, and I will be doing my best to do all my streams this week as well. I will be doing them in the morning. So if you guys have not seen or heard or looked at my schedule, definitely check that out too. It's easier now for me to do in the morning than it is at night, now that times have changed and things like that. So definitely check me out for those. I will be streaming Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Friday is the day that I will be streaming with other people. So if you guys are wanting to play with me and want to squad it up, that is the night or day or morning to do it, because I can, figure out what time you guys need me to do that. We can figure it out. We'll figure it out together. But other than that, definitely stay tuned on all my stuff, so you guys know, what's going on, and all the fun rundowns and fun things coming. So it's already spring, baby. Lots of fun things coming. All right, you guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys being here today. And I appreciate you guys checking out my Matcha Morning, my gaming news. I am still uploading on YouTube and other things as well. So if you guys want to check those out too, just easier places to be able to get all my gaming stuffs. But yeah, thank you. And I hope the rest of your guys' day is absolutely amazing. The rest of your Monday is absolutely wonderful. Just the rest of this whole month, just make it be wonderful. Now that spring is here, other than the horrible, disgusting pollen, everything is starting to get brighter and get warmer. The bees are coming out with all the flowers. It's wonderful. The butterflies will be here soon. I'm so excited. I'm so stoked. But yeah, thank you guys very much. And I will be seeing you guys on Wednesday, other than, like on my socials and stuff. So I will be seeing you guys there for some Smite morning. Come watch me be in the battlegrounds of the gods. deal with people being trolly. All right. Thank you guys so much. And I will be seeing you guys then. Until next time. Bye, guys.